Welcome back to this episode of the Mass Business Podcast. My name is Matt Ward, and I am your esteemed host. I'm so excited to have you here for the final episode of Season 2. Before we get to that, don't forget that this week I released my brand new book, The High Five Effect, How to Do Business with People Who Bring You Joy. And that's what we're talking about all the time on this podcast. Hopefully, you're listening to business owners that bring you joy, and you're getting tidbits and nuggets of that. And so I am excited to bring you our next guest, our final guest of Season 2. His name is Ryan Gates. He started Freestyle Consulting in 2018 to help business owners reach more customers through text message marketing. I met Ryan through networking, and we built a relationship since then, and I'm so happy to have him on the show. He's a father of 2 boys, a husband, and a soccer coach for almost 20 years. The other thing you might not know, he's a huge Disney fan. Are you ready? Let's go.
High five the world. I'm feeling all right. High five the world. Yeah.
Welcome to the Mass Business Podcast, where small business owners, also known as risk takers, share their stories about the growth of their business and themselves. Our interviews and our content is focused on growing a small business and understanding networking and referrals. I say it all the time, and I'll say it again today. You never know where your next referral will come from. Hey, Ryan Gates, how are you?
I'm doing good, Matt. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So just real briefly, in under 30 seconds or less, tell the listening audience on their favorite podcast application or even watching on YouTube what it is you do at Freestyle Consulting.
So we help business owners. We set up a direct relationship between them and their customer, all through text message marketing.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a fairly new, I say new, I mean, texting is new in the last, 15, 20 years, so to speak. And from a marketing standpoint, it's a new medium. And I say new compared to it came after digital marketing, right? And so I think a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with that yet and customized to it. Are you growing your business through text message marketing yourself?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, not only am I the president, but I'm also a customer.
Yeah, it's like the hair club for men, which apparently I'm not either. So what, you started in 2018, your company, and now it's 2021. And in there, you've had almost 2 years of a pandemic. Who'd have thunk it? How have you managed to grow your business during the pandemic?
The texting has certainly helped because as so many business owners, we've gone to the whole, I work in sales. So before it was a lot of in-person knocking on doors with the pandemic, doors were shut, difficult to get in touch with people. The texting is very easy. Kind of like you said, it's been around for years, but not at the business level. So it's certainly helped my own business because I have my own customers that opt into my databases, my keywords that I have for some of the things I do, and so it's been a great way to communicate with them. To let people know that they can reach me and we can do things through social media or push them to Zoom links to still get that as much as it's not in person.
Yeah,
still allow me to have that face to face.
So you're talking tactics there, which I love because I want to dig into that a little bit. What type of tactics are you employing that are even not text message marketing related, that might just be marketing related? What tactics are you using to grow your business nowadays?
Right now, it's a lot of networking. There's just so many opportunities out
Mm-hmm.
there. There's different groups. I mean, you could breakfast clubs, lunch,
Chamber stuff, Am Spirit,
meetings.
BNI. Yeah, there's a whole
I mean,
bunch of
you
stuff.
have all that stuff, and it's like, I mean, every single time you go to different different events, and there's business owners all over the place that, you know what, some people, they have the 8 to 5 job, so you might see them at a chamber event at
Mm-hmm.
nighttime. You might have someone that might work in an industry where their ideal client is after hours, so you're going to catch them at a breakfast meeting or a lunch meeting. So the more you can do, the more events that you're doing at, I mean, for me, trying to hit the morning, the lunch, the evening, every
Mm-hmm.
time you show up to those, you're meeting new and different people.
Now you're meeting new and different people, but as a referral coach, I hear this all the time from my clients that they feel like they wasted time at an event or they wasted time doing a one-to-one with somebody. How do you deal with that, you personally, when you go to an event and you leave, and sort of the first thing you think about is, well, that was a bust.
I think we all have said this numerous times. Um, it's I mean, certainly because of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
everyone it's a very fast paced world that we live in. So
Mm-hmm.
you never know where the people that you're talking to, what happened to them in their um, their day, and
Mm-hmm.
so that could certainly impact and cause different reactions at any sort of meeting. So I mean, for me, it's like I love the interaction, being able to meet people. It's even better the more you do. Hopefully, it's repeat. You run into the
Mm-hmm.
same people at the same time, and then um, with the texting, the texting, it's a follow up
Mm-hmm.
for me, because the more people that I can get to kind of opt in to my own stuff, I'm using that to follow up with people to kind of remind them of some of the stuff that we talked about, and to kind of help with
Mm-hmm.
creating more one-to-ones that come out of those
And I mean,
meetings.
too, I think so many people leave a networking meeting and they're thinking to themselves, well, gee, that was a bust. And I'm thinking, well, how do you know it was a bust? Like, referrals don't happen immediately. Referrals happen after you build relationships and trust, and business happens after you build relationships and trust. And I tell people all the time, the work you do now pays off in 6 months. So, what I always see with folks is we judge a book by its cover, we judge it too soon. We haven't even invested. Like you say, even the text message marketing follow up hasn't even been done yet. We're sitting in our car driving home, and we're like, oh, that was a bust. And we haven't even tried yet, you know?
When it comes to the networking events, and one of the things that I love hearing that um, so many coaches will ask the questions, like if you were going to ask the room in a chamber event, hey, who's here to buy? Raise your hand.
Yeah, no one's there to
Well,
buy.
no one's there. Everyone's there to sell, and so it's
Such
like,
a joke, Ryan. Such a joke.
and so I mean, how do you sell it if no one's buying?
Yeah.
And so
Because here's the thing. Here's what I say all the time about that. When people are talking to a networking group, they use the word "you" all the time. If you want to do more marketing, if you want to get a better website, if you want financial planning, we have to remove the word "you" from our language, because what happens is the people in the room feel like we're selling to them, and nobody wants to be sold to, but everybody wants to buy. Nobody wants to be sold to, but everybody wants to buy. That's why no one likes car sales guys, because they try to sell you stuff that you don't want, right? And
absolutely.
so when you go to that room, you're exactly right about that, dude. Like, you go to that room, and it's like, hey, who's here to buy? No one's raising their hands. Like, who's here to sell? Everybody raises their hands. Like, that's the wrong. That's why it drives me crazy when people go to networking groups and they're asking for referrals versus introductions to their centers of influence. Because I've always believed that that's more effective across the board. Now, how do you grow out your centers of influence and get more referrals in your business? Are you working with different ancillary types of partners that can send referrals to you for text message marketing?
So when it comes to text message marketing, and I know that you and I have had numerous conversations, and you absolutely hate this answer, is that it's like, I mean, who's your ideal client? And I'm like, someone who wants customers. But I mean,
Yeah, that's like the answer is anybody.
and,
Yeah,
and anyone, which is we all know that's
not specific enough. Yeah.
right, and it's not true because it's not. I mean, I can say everyone, but it doesn't mean that's really really the case. And I've tried to narrow. I mean, can I say that almost every business out there? Can I come up with a way that texting could work for them? Absolutely, but it doesn't mean that works in the real world.
It doesn't mean it works in the real world. It doesn't mean that they have the money. It doesn't mean that they have the pain point. It doesn't mean that they have the time to execute on it, even though you and I know it doesn't take a lot of time or a lot of money, but in their head, they're not ready for it, right? And so they're not a good client, right?
And there's a huge education side to it because it's I mean everyone texts. We do it all day long, but then to take it and put it in the other side for how does a business do that? A lot of people just they can't wrap their head around how would that work in my business. So there's a lot of education part to it. And to kind of get to your question, um, an industry that we focus on is the hospitality industry. So I like to meet people that also work in the hospitality. So I want to talk with people that are also going in and meeting with
Like
restaurant owners, meeting
commercial
with
knife
bar
sharpening
owners,
companies,
um,
commercial cleaning companies, things like
right,
that.
right,
So you're
right, right.
building out your relationships with those folks over time.
Yeah, I mean the guy who's selling napkins. It's like
Yeah.
I want to talk to that guy. The guy who's selling the umbrellas to the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, the drink
Um,
umbrellas, right?
the drink umbrellas. I
Yeah.
want to I want to sit down and talk to that guy, and see how we can build upon our relationship and kind of so that
Mhm.
when they're in with their customers and here's I mean, it could be a bartender or the
Mhm.
owners just say, you know what, weekends are great, but what are we going to do more to get people in during the week?
Yeah.
And so those people that hear those kind of stuff can say, hey, have you ever looked into text message marketing?
Mhm. Mhm. So tell me a little bit about the strategy and growth of your business. What's the trajectory look like, and where have you come from, and what are the things that you're doing to grow your business?
So with texting, I mean, we keep on coming back like the uniqueness of it. When I started in 2018, for me, I was like, you know what, everyone's texting. And so it's like every business should be texting. And so when I looked out like 2 years, I'm like, all right, you know what, maybe businesses aren't just quite ready, ready for this. Um, and so I thought like year 2020, it was
Mhm.
going to kind of take off. And maybe the pandemic coming in certainly
Mhm.
slowed us down. Um, but I mean, it's like 90% of businesses out there aren't using texting. So I'm
Mhm.
still on like that uphill, going up there.
Mhm.
Which with the pandemic and the way stuff is going, it's been a perfect opportunity to, you know what, take a step back and just work on those relationships and meet the people that are going into restaurants and bars and breweries, those type of places, to certainly um, help with the education part,
Mhm.
to let people know because there's certainly you hear texting and so many people start to think a lot of stuff that just might not be what it really looks like.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned education. What are you doing for self-education as a business owner? Like, how are you learning to run a better business? What are the tactics you're using to grow yourself?
One of the biggest things that I'm trying to do is patience right
Oh.
now. for me. It's like it's when you got into business, it's like all of a sudden the first couple months it's not going the way you want, and you try to rush, and you're like, is this really going to work? And you just go down this rat hole that just kind of makes it worse for you.
Hmm.
So for me, it's and certainly conversations with you and other business owners have kind of helped that and made me realize that you know what, I don't need that 100 sales in the next month. If I wait a few months and kind of make myself better,
Hmm.
if 100 sales is my goal, that's going to come a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And I might, if I said, hey, I want to get 100 sales in the next 6 months. Well, you know what? If I took the first 3 months to work on patience and some of the other stuff,
Hmm.
I might still get to 100 sales in 6 months. I just might do it in the second
Right.
half of the 6 months.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think patience is such an interesting component and something to sort of dig into in small business ownership, right? We are in a fast food society. Even your product is instantaneous, right? Text message marketing, right? It comes out and people are paying attention to text and all that stuff. But patience is not something that business owners traditionally have. They hang up their shingle and they want uh, sales right away. And even in the world of networking and referrals, they go to networking and they want sales right away. I recently had a client say to me, well, yeah, I met somebody. We had a great conversation. We did a one-to-one on Zoom, and then I did a follow-up a month later. And yeah, I haven't gotten any referrals yet. I'm like, you talked to the person 3 times. 3 times. Like over the course of 3 months, you talked to the person 3 times. And that was all the touch points that they had. That is not going to produce referrals, right? I mean, even in the marketing game, and I know, having come from the agency world that I came from, that it can be 10, 15, 20, 50 touches before somebody's actually buying our product and service. And I think too often we're just not patient enough when it comes to that. I think we just have to kind of sit in that and think, kind of like you're saying, I work on our own patience, right? So that we can get more results from that and be okay with it. I think to your point, if you have a goal, you don't have to hit it in the first month. You can hit it at the end of the 12 months, right? And do that type of thing. I'm always constantly reading. I love reading business books. I also love reading fiction books. Sort of like war type. John Grisham books as well, and James Patterson books and stuff like that, because I want to keep my brain working from a business perspective. I want to be constantly learning. I listen to podcasts, listen to audiobooks, things like that. What types of things are you doing from an educator? Are you reading blogs? Are you reading specific? And yeah, I mean, I get one email newsletter every day, and it's called the Morning Joe, and it just is a recap of the stock market and news and stuff that's going on, and I can read it super, super quick. Are you doing anything like that maybe some of the listeners could take an idea from and help grow their business?
So a couple things I do. I study my competition all the time. So I'm going out and I'm looking at um, their websites. I'm trying to find as many case studies of texting in certain industries and what other businesses are doing with texting. Um, Recently, I was introduced to Seth Godin,
Mm-hmm.
who's turned into maybe my favorite author right now in the business world. And so I've been going through, and sometimes I read pages and chapters over and over again. He just wrote a book called Permission Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what texting is. So it's like the perfect book for me to review and see someone that's just been in the business for years and has seen every evolution of marketing, of where it started and where we are today. I think there's a book called The High Five Effect that's in the mail. In the mail that should be coming to my house soon. That'll be the next one that.
Little self-promotion there, folks. That's what it looks like. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and actually, that brings up another point. And I might as well just ask you now. I mean, I normally ask it at the end of the podcast, but I can ask you now. Is what business book would you recommend that other business owners read that's of value?
To be honest with you, I'm probably the worst person to ask this question. I am one that I can't read books. I usually get 3 pages in, and even if I'm standing up, I'm probably sleeping. Reading puts me to sleep. But certainly, and I mean for me, saying Seth Godin and reading Permission Marketing. I mean, for me, that's a book that just resonates with me because, I mean, that's what I do. So I can kind of get excited when I'm reading different passages in the book. But I'm also I'm more of a going on to YouTube and kind of finding, I mean, podcasts like this.
All right, let's talk about that real quick. Let me stop you right there. YouTube. Okay, so what exactly? How are you using YouTube to grow your business? Because I want to think about that from an education standpoint. I think that's something that a lot of people don't do. So I know it can be a great resource because I've used it a lot. But how are you using it?
I don't use it at all, and I know that I should. And there's.
Wait, didn't you just say you go on YouTube?
Well, I go on YouTube to listen to podcasts, to listen.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. What are you searching for on YouTube to listen to? And so you're using it from an education. Are you listening to these podcasts throughout your workday?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I'm looking for. I mean, I'll go in and just put on marketing to see what comes up. And I mean, I'm certainly a big fan of Tony Robbins, so I'll go up and just put in Tony Robbins podcasts. I could listen to Tony all time. I mean, that guy is just real, and I mean, he's done so well for himself that he can say whatever he wants, and you have to listen. So when he speaks to the people that he's trying to help, he's real with them.
Yeah.
And he's just blunt, honest, just coming out with stuff. So it's educational, but it's also funny at the same time. So it keeps you engaged. Or Gary V is a big one because he's one that's out there that younger, loud, outspoken. So it's fun to listen to. But he's one that, I mean, he comes from, his family was in the hospitality business. So he goes back to a lot of what his family has done in the hospitality business, but he's also is trying every single thing that's out there. So you learn of all of every single marketing piece that's there. He's done it.
Yeah.
And he talks about it.
One thing I always like to ask people, I don't always do it because I'll forget, but what other Massachusetts-based business person would you like to give a shout out to? We'll put their LinkedIn URL in the notes, and then people who are watching this on YouTube or on our website or the show notes can click on that and then connect with that person. Who would you recommend that somebody reach out to?
So right now, with the way that businesses are going with the pandemic, expenses are rising. Sean Halloran from Complete Payroll. Complete Payroll. I've spent a lot of time with recently. We're in some of these same groups. Complete Payroll is going above and beyond right now to save businesses a ton of money, and the product and the technology that they have is cutting edge. And I think, I mean, every single business that's out there that has employees is looking to get employees, reach out, do a one-to-one with Sean.
Cool. Yeah, we'll make sure we put that in the notes. If people want to learn more about text message marketing, if they just want to network with you, if they want to show up to your Am Spirit Bay State chapter on Fridays, how can they get a hold of you and reach out to you and connect with you?
The best and easiest way, come out to the Bay State Tap Room on Fridays from 12 to 1:15. Come out for lunch. If your boss allows it, have a beer with us. Share your share what you do in your business. We'd love to have you come out and network with us. If you want more information about that or more information about texting, grab your cell phone and text the word GetSeen, all one word, GETSEEN, to the number 57838 and opt into one of my business databases to get tips on how to better communicate with your customers. And I'll follow up with everyone that opts in, and we can do one-to-ones.
There it is. That's how you're going to network with Ryan. Ryan, thanks so much for sharing your business strategy success story and your tips. And we didn't even get into Disney. We ran out of time. I'm sure it would be fun for you to sit here and talk about all the Disney parks, and maybe we'll have you back on sometime to do that if we ever decide to do a Disney special.
Well, if someone wants information on Disney, they should listen to your October. I forget the date, but it was a couple days ago. I think you did a podcast with a bigger Disney lover
with Amy Flores Young. Yeah, she was great. Yeah, so just a reminder to everybody out there: if you want to pick up the book, The High Five Effect, go to high5effect.com. That's all spelled out. You can get your hardcover copy along with bonuses right there on the website. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app to the Mass Business Podcast, and smash the subscribe button and the notification button bell on YouTube so that you get notified when we put up all the new episodes. We are looking for guests for season 3 and beyond. So if you know somebody who is a Massachusetts-based business owner and would like to be a guest on the show, have them reach out to us. Matt at breakthrough-champion.com. We'd love to have him on the show, and we'll get him in the process and in the queue. Until next time, don't forget to live happy, smile a lot, and high five everyone around you.
I'm waking up this morning, gonna grab myself a smile.
Thank you for listening to the Mass Business Podcast, where we focus on growing a small business and understanding networking and referrals. Don't forget to like on your favorite platform and share out this podcast. This show has been produced by Heather Grant, music by Celtic Kelly, all rights reserved. I'm your host, professional speaker, author, and word-of-mouth referral consultant, Matt Ward. Don't forget to live happy, smile a lot, and high five everyone around you.
Feeling alright. High five the world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. High five the world. Make a difference today. High five the world. What a thing to say. Do you feel what I'm telling you?